When I leave this world, I hope there'll be a celebration. When I leave this world, when I leave this world, and when I leave this world, I hope I passed my initiations. When I leave this world, when I leave this world, and when I leave this world, I hope there are handshakes and salutations. When I leave this world, when I leave this world, and when I leave this world, I hope it'll be my graduation. When I leave this world, when I leave this world, when I leave this old world behind, it'll be at the appointed time. God holds my soul's place in line. When I leave this world behind.
It's hard to imagine a more perfect setting or a more beautiful day to honor a man like Duncan. We're here today, of course, to celebrate the life of William Duncan Hagemeyer. I know the family wishes to welcome you, and they're honored by your presence here today. My name's Jeff Ballard. I'm the pastor of the community church in Gardner. I'm really just here this morning to get the ball rolling because we're primarily going to hear from you today. I heard something years ago that really stuck with me, something that I love. Someone said that we all basically preach our own funeral message by the way we live our lives. The choices we make along the way we treat people, when we show love to people, when we make time to create special memory with families and friends, how we treat people in need, we're really preaching our own funeral message. So we look forward today to hearing some of those stories from you all, your special memories and recollections of Duncan. I'm told that Duncan spoke often about his curiosity of what happens next. When you close your eyes in this world, what is it really like on the other side? And today we have to say that Duncan knows things that we don't know. He's experiencing things that we are yet to experience, and our deep hope is to one day be reunited with him in that place called paradise.
In high school, he was voted best school spirit. He was always a leader. He later went on to college where he met amazing friends and had the privilege of having Jim McCandless mentor him into the commodity trading business. He started his own business, Hagemeyer, somewhere around 1977, and a few years later, our father gave him some much-needed advice and said, "You really need to bring your brother Richard in because he will be a huge asset." In 1999, I flew out and we looked for property together here in the valley. As we were riding up Tom Miner Road, we came across the beautiful aspen groves adjacent to the Anderson property, and we fell in love with the Tom Miner Basin. So here we are today, celebrating his life and saying goodbye right here in the same place where we fell in love. I'm so grateful for the past years that I've been able to walk this road with him. It was one tough battle, but we fought it tooth and nail. We were at war against this disease. We spent hours researching, trips to Vanderbilt, Mayo Clinic, and over 20,000 miles back and forth to Bozeman for treatments, blood transfusions, and hospitalizations. We were at war for a long uphill battle. For Duncan, it seemed to be one step forward and then many steps backwards. But he fought this battle with grace and without any bitterness or anger. Not even a single day did he ever say to me or even suggest a bad attitude. Finally, on Monday, July 27th, after a rough weekend, he told me he was done and he was ready for hospice. I gave him my approval on his decision and told him we would let him go. For our loving friends and family, our nieces and our nephews who could not be here because of COVID and other reasons, we know you are with us in spirit. We thank you all so much, and though he is gone, our memories and our friendships, I pray, will last forever, and we will have many, many opportunities to tell only Duncan stories. Forever in my heart. Thank you.
As you know, I'm Duncan's brother. I'm 2 years younger than Duncan, so I think that I've known him all my life, and I know a lot of things about Duncan. I know that you probably don't know a lot of the stories about his younger life. I think he just came out here and was who he was. So I thought I'd share a few things with you that I know that, looking back on it, told me that he was heading in this direction all his life. First, I'm going to call cowboys and Indians. When we were as young as I can remember, we always had toy guns, and Duncan would watch the westerns on TV on Saturday. He would all morning he'd watch the westerns, and then we'd go strap on our Fanner 50 cap guns and we'd go play cowboy. You look back on it, and it was pointing here. It just looked like he was destined to have horses and pickup trucks and own a ranch, and so I just say he had a life lived well, and he'll be missed.
Life can be sweet, life can be cruel. You're either taking the heat or you're following the rules. And the shoreline recedes into the sea, fulfilling the need for eternity. Hear the cannons roar, you can hear the thunder, and the eagle soars, the clouds burst asunder. The heavens will open doors to the wonder the Lord's called out for. Another brother. His ship has sailed from this earthly harbor into the mystic mail, silent departure. His hand on his brow to shade the glare, barefoot on the bow, whispering a prayer. And the cannons roar, you can hear the thunder, and the eagle soars, the clouds burst asunder. Heaven's doors open to the wonder the Lord has called out for. Another brother. And the cannons roar, you can hear the thunder, and that eagle soars, all those clouds burst asunder. And heaven's doors open to the wonder the Lord's called out for. Another brother. The Lord's called out for another brother.
My name's Gerald Turner. I had the privilege and honor of working for Duncan and Richard for over 25 years and known Duncan for probably 30 years or so. Duncan recruited me into Hagemeyer. I had to quit 2 jobs to work for Duncan. You know, I consider Duncan not just somebody I worked for. He was a friend, a partner in his business, a motivator, a mentor, and a supporter. Duncan had this larger-than-life personality. He brought energy and enthusiasm into any room he entered. His energy level was contagious. He was optimistic, and he always believed things would work out. He never met a stranger. It seems like I told people, I said, okay, if you ever met Duncan, you felt like you've known Duncan for about 5 years if you talked to him for 15 minutes. Duncan just believed in having fun. On the job, too. One time he said, Gerald, the last day I stop having fun at the office is the last day I'm going to be at the office. Well, I'm not sure if that was the case. I kind of look at all this scenery and kind of think, well, this is probably why he left the office. It wasn't because he stopped having fun. The second thing, Duncan was the consummate ideas guy. You know, he was, I always viewed Duncan's life as kind of like a constant brainstorming session. He was always searching for that next life-changing idea. He lived how he wanted, he lived where he wanted, and he lived how he wanted. And not very many people can really say that. So rest in peace, Duncan. Thanks for the memories. May God bless you and the Hagemeyer family.
Duncan was obviously sick, but he was cheerful, entirely cheerful, hopeful, talking about the future. He actually talked to me about what Livingston Healthcare needed to do and how he would fund it. That was Duncan, a warm friend.
Waiting for the tide of 5 to come rolling in. Think I'll take that boat of mine out for a spin. Well, the seas are calm, but the wind's picking up a bit. Think I'll sail on down to St. Martin.
Duncan Hagemeyer was a lucky man. I only had the pleasure of knowing him later in his life, but I am so grateful that I did get to know him. Mary had tried to get us together years earlier for sailing in the Caribbean. The idea of joining Mary and her ex-husband for a week of sailing around sounded like it could be a disaster. Of course, we had no idea of the very special bond that they shared. Most people don't have that kind of relationship. Most divorced people don't have the kind of relationship that they did. We had a wonderful time enjoying the activity, the scenery, and the lively banter. I think for me, that was what I enjoyed the most. Duncan and I shared many similar interests and views. We both loved to get out and soak in the beauty of this amazing place we call home.
It just got to the point where, in thinking about Duncan, I was reminded of that old saying that there are a lot of dreamers out there, but some people actually just roll up their sleeves and get to work. And that's what Duncan did everywhere. And we heard about his commodities business and an investor, and he was a great investor, but his best investments were in people and ideas and what people were trying to do and what organizations were trying to do, because Duncan was an investor for the long term. It wasn't the short term. He had visions. At the very end, he was always talking about what's next.
Dance me to your beauty, dance me on and on. Dance me to the panic, and I'm gathered safely in. Touch me with your naked hand, touch me with your glove, but dance me to the ends of love. Dance me to the ends of love.
I came to love Duncan as a person that embodied hope and optimism and love. Duncan was a blessing to all of us. and I will hold on to his memory with gratitude.
He told me of people that got into a jam. Sometimes they were young people, lost their way. And he wouldn't just give them some money. He would try to help them build a little business, start a little something, create a life for themselves that would allow them to take care of themselves.
Duncan and I were married for 9 years, but he has been in my life for 40 years. I returned to Yellowstone National Park in Montana in the late summer of 1989 and have been here ever since. Most of you know the rest of the story, but what you don't know is this. So much of what I am, what I've accomplished, my strength, courage, and perseverance comes from this man who sat with me at a wake and saw a potential. He has always been my biggest fan, loudest cheerleader, and most of all, he never, ever gave up on me. He was here for me through some of my biggest disappointments and challenges, and for some of my greatest moments. We were star-crossed lovers, a marriage relationship doomed to fail. But instead, what we found was a life of mutual interest, respect, opportunities, friendships, confidence, and unconditional loyalty and love. He will forever be air in my lungs, a voice in my head, the strength in my legs, the blood in my heart, encouraging me to rise again in this world as the beautiful and strong soul he knew me to be.
This prayer that we are going to use as our closing is sent to us by a man named Alan Brown, who is a lifelong friend of Duncan, Alan, and Pam. They were friends of his from church, from their youth. They became sailing buddies and lifelong friends. They would have certainly been here today if Alan had not recently had a liver transplant. And so in honor of Alan and Alan's effort to honor his friend Duncan, I'm going to read this prayer. May Christ go before you to lead you. May Christ go above you to protect you. May Christ go behind you to push you. May Christ go under you to carry you. May Christ go in you to cleanse you. May Christ go beside you to hold your hand. May Christ go with you now and forevermore. Amen. O God, we remember and we give thanks. Amen.
You'd have made Duncan proud.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.